Play Africa has launched My Constitution, which is available online for free. This is aimed at educating learners in grade 3 to 6 on children's rights and how to participate in a democracy. This will also help South African educators enlighten and enrich classroom learning with playful activities and participative dialogue. Now, to share more on this project, we're joined by Play Africa founder and CEO Gretchen Wilson-Prangley. Gretchen, a very good morning to you. Welcome to Morning Live. Now, democracy only works when people understand what it is, and why is it so important to teach children at a young age about our Constitution?
Well, when we think back about the fact that the Constitution came into law 25 years ago, and children of today weren't alive to remember the signing of the Constitution or even the struggle for democracy. So it's up to us as adults to make that journey come alive for a new generation, just to help them understand how important it is that we fought for democracy and now have a democratic society that is enshrined in the Constitution. So we need to make sure that children understand that and just how important it is. And we do that through the My Constitution resources for educators. And these are really just a series of lesson plans and activities and playful learning experiences to bring a new style of teaching into classrooms to help the Constitution come alive for these learners.
Why are you specifically targeting grade 3 to 6 learners?
Well, we know that we've worked with 3,000 children running versions of this workshop at our base at Constitution Hill. This started in 2018 with a small grant from the Government of Canada for us to experiment with introducing the ideas of the Constitution to children. And again, we found that the demand for this program was so strong, especially from primary school educators, who oftentimes introduce children to the concepts of the Bill of Rights or responsibilities in their own CAPS-aligned curriculum. So again and again from these educators, we heard them say, we need this to be in every classroom in the country, starting with these young ones. So we've experimented from grade R all the way through high school. We decided to focus on grade 3 through 6 because we know that that's a really foundational year. It's also the year we start to hear about stories of bullying and other kinds of things that are coming up into classroom experiences. And this really dovetails really well, not only with CAPS curriculum, which we've aligned every grade to, but also some of the real issues that teachers face in their everyday classrooms.
Take us through how it's structured for teachers to make this fun.
Well, this is a whole set of resources. We know that teachers are strapped for time, and we have to try to take some of the mental load off for teachers. So any teacher around the country can download this free resource that has easy to adapt lesson plans. It has provocations for dialogues, and it shows you how to turn your classroom into a playful learning space. So for example, we show you as a teacher how you can use everyday materials to turn your classroom into a voting station where children can register to vote and then make their voices heard at a kind of ad hoc voting booth and put their ballot in the ballot box. We show you how to use your classroom and turn it around very simply with desks kind of arranged in a different way to make it into a courtroom setting, to teach you about the rule of law and how the Constitution protects our rights and ensures that our rights are being met. We also show you how to use just everyday materials to make your voices heard on a sign. And we provide linkages with our friends at the Constitutional Court Trust to some of the archive footage of people historically holding up signs in South Africa's history to fight for their rights. So it's a really exciting way to just use playful learning to do that. We also help teachers see how they can have a range of different extension activities if the children really respond well and they want to deepen their learning. And we also show you how to facilitate dialogues with children to really get them to deeply understand the content.
Let's talk about the response. What's been the response from the schools that are already using this?
The response has been amazing, and we find that educators have really appreciated that we've helped map out exactly how to implement. They can see the objectives, they see the lesson plans, the timings, they know exactly how to fit it into their schedule, and it really helps when they're documenting to their own systems how they've implemented this work. one of the other things that we really found that was surprising to us, that we didn't expect to see, was just how much educators themselves told us that they learned themselves about their own rights as citizens of South Africa. They've learned about the Constitution. Many educators have told us that they've participated in the voting process themselves because they themselves haven't voted before, or they have only voted once or twice, and this really helps reinforce what this process is and why it's so important. Another thing that we found that was really powerful is that educators have come to us and said, children in my classroom are struggling. They face a lot of challenges at home, and this helps me understand them in a different way. I know that as an educator, I need to be their safe space, and this helps me understand a little bit more about how to do that. So we've been really overwhelmed with the incredible response, and it's been not only rolled out at Constitution Hill and our partners, but thanks to this grant from the Government of Canada, we've been able to make this resource free for educators across the country. So anyone can come to our website and download a CAPS-aligned curriculum for any grade from 3 to 6 and see how they can adapt it for any grade across the spectrum.
Mm-hmm. And, for the schools interested in this project, where can they access it? How easy is it to download?
It's super easy. We've made it as simple as possible. So you can go to our website at playafrica.org.za, and you can click on the link of free resources where it says My Constitution. You can click that link, and there's simply just scroll down and you can see not only the curriculum, which you can click a link and it will email it to you directly. You can also see that scrolling down, you can see videos of how teachers implement this in the classroom. Again, we wanted to remove the mental load for educators who are already so busy and show them here's a CAPS-aligned solution to help make this come alive, and to see that you're actually building trust, rapport, excitement in the classroom, and children respond beautifully to this program.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think it's important that we start a generation of youngsters that know their rights and know what the South African Constitution consists of?
Well, I think we have one of the most extraordinary constitutions in the world. The entire world looks to our Constitution as a beacon of light and hope in terms of its considerations of human rights and human dignity, freedom and equality. But at the same time, we know that rights of children, which are themselves enshrined in the Constitution, are oftentimes violated across the country. We have a long way to go to make the Constitution truly come alive and its promise made possible on the ground. So we think that it's really important for children to understand their own rights. One of the things we hear again and again is for children to tell us that they didn't know that they have the same rights as boy children. This is really a powerful, real evident thing that we've seen again and again working with 3,000 children from across Greater Gauteng. So, we're seeing that happen now in rural classrooms, in peri-urban settings, across the country in every province. And we know that if we can help spark new ideas of what this Constitution's promise is for children and help teachers see that they can help be advocates for that dream, we're seeing kind of real-time knock-on effects, because teachers are starting to see how they themselves can be part of a solution, ensuring that children's rights are honored.
I mean, we've spoken about the voting booths in the classes as well. I mean, what's been the most satisfying bit of seeing this play out in the classrooms?
I think you see again and again how seriously children queue up. They know that this is something that is a very big responsibility. And after going through dialogue processes and explaining about one person, one vote, why every voice matters, why every voice needs to be heard, and then at the same time explaining that we don't know the outcomes of elections, we have to see what the outcomes are, and we have to respect those outcomes. So children take this very seriously. We see that in this exercise, children kind of tend to queue up quite excited but nervous. They go through the process of checking their names off a list. They get their thumb stamped or the thumb marked. They get their ballot paper by showing their ID when they've registered. And then they walk very seriously to the ballot booth, and it gives them a sense of real excitement and power. We don't put forward that children should be voting for political parties. We put forward issues that are related to both their rights, or sometimes silly things that are really inconsequential that relate to either classroom experiences or their favorite color of the flag or things like that. But the whole experience itself of seeing how their voice is counted alongside others, and when we count up the results, is a very powerful experience for children to understand exactly what this is and why their voice matters.
All right, Gretchen, such a beautiful concept. Thank you so much for talking to us. Gretchen Wilson-Prangley is the CEO, and as well as she is the founder of Play Africa, speaking to us about Play Africa's Mind Constitution, which is a free online curriculum toolkit for all educators that aims to strengthen South African learners' knowledge of the Constitution and children's rights.